Good morning to everyone. Myself, Dr. Sujinder, Associate Professor, Khalsa College of Nursing. Today I'm going to discuss about one of the important topic. And before announcing my topic, I just want to share some data with you. According to the BBC survey done in 2018, 81% women are harassed in their lifetime. 39% women believe that their issue is not addressed by the senior person, and almost 95% men are go unpunished, and this is the main reason. And 7 in 10 people believe that their institution will not discuss this topic at the higher level. So today we are going to talk about this topic: Workplace Prevention, Protection and Prohibition Act 2013. Well, if we talk about the women equality, women empowerment, this actually is contained in the article of 14, 15 and 21 that show the personal liberty and the equality among the women. Well, under the constitution, this is the legal right of the woman. She must have a safe work environment around her, so she can work easily and she can work in a productive way. Well, if we talk about the definition of workplace harassment, it is a threatening or belittling behavior towards someone or a group of persons, or mostly it is towards the women. Well, mobbing, accusing, or belittling or bullying, all these are synonymous, or we can say these are under the category of workplace harassment. So there are basically two types of workplace harassment: quid pro or hostile work environment. In quid pro is basically this for that. It means that in seeking someone's sexual flavor, in exchange of that person is giving higher promotion, higher salary, and giving some other educational benefits to the person. And on the other side, in hostile work environment, it is basically creating uncomfortable environment for the woman. So that environment is basically unbearable for the women to work in a comfortable manner. Well, whenever the government made any law or act, there is always story behind that. So in case of workplace harassment, there is a story of Bhavri Devi. She was actually a social health worker, and she was working on the project that was run by the Rajasthan government. Well, during her work period, she actually prevented one of the child marriage, and in response of that, some of the Gujar community people, they did raped. She filed a complaint to the police, but the police did not take any action. After that, she filed a case to the court, and she lost her justice, and the people or the harasser, they go free. Well, after that, a collective organization or NGOs, they filed a case on the name of Vishakha to the Supreme Court, and in 1997, the Supreme Court uh, uh, produced some guidelines that known as Vishakha guidelines, and they said that until the act or law is not made, that guidelines must be implemented in every organization for the protection and prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. Well, if we talk about the Workplace Protection, Prevention and Prohibition Act 2013, this act was passed by the Indian government on 9 December 2013, and they said that this act or law must be implemented to all the institutions. Well, I can say that Vishakha guidelines were the one of the victory for the women who was working under any organizations. Well, if we talk about the impact of sexual harassment, any harassment can have a negative impact on the person. Either we talk about the personal or professional level, it affect negatively. If we talk about on the professional level, definitely absenteeism will be increased, the workput will be decreased, and the person will be feel as a kind of gossip for the someone. Then defamation will be there, then the person will have a loss of interest in the work. Then on the other side, if we talk about the personal impact, definitely the harassment will give depression, anxiety, sadness, loneliness, sleeplessness will be there. The person will having a loss of trust in the people, and so many negative things will be come out. Well, next moving towards the scenario that actually constitute a sexual harassment. Like in the workplace, if someone is teasing or showing any offensive things like MMS, SMS, or any pornography, then that attitude or behavior will be considered as a sexual harassment. Other than that, any joke or any defamation regarding the personal life of the person, any questions, suggestion regarding the private life of the person will be considered as a sexual harassment. So if we talk about the things that will not be considered under the sexual harassment, that will include if there is a work line deadline or any having a any management work that related to their professional life, or you have to submit any assignment on a deadlines, or these work that is related to particularly on the work level, then that scenario or behavior will not be considered as a sexual harassment at the workplace. Well, now today we'll talk about now we will talk about the aggrieved women, who which women they consider they can file a case or they can make a complaint. Well, all the working women, all the women who are working at a domestic level, and the students, they are considered under this act. Like working women can be a private sector or can be a government sector, can be a dwelling house or anything that will be considered under this act. Now if we talk about the workplace that considered under this act, all the workplaces like government, private, NGO, sports organization, corporations, farms, all the work area will be considered under this act. Well, now the employer. So same I talk about at the workplace. The employer that can be a government employer or can be a private employer or can be a working in a dwelling house. All the employers will be considered under this act. So now next is the important thing is a complaint committee. So this committee is basically a main element under this act. There will be two types of committees: internal complaint committee and local complaint committee. So basically internal complaint committee is work if in an organization there are more than 10 employees, or we can say the big organization will be conduct internal complaint committee. And if we talk about the local complaint committee, it is basically headed by the district officer. The district officer will appoint the nodal officer in all the blocks, the C level. So the nodal officer is accountable to record the complaints of the women. So if we talk about the members of the internal and as well as external complaint committee, so in external complaint committee, so there will be one chairperson who must be a woman, and if there is a if that woman is not available in the organization, the other organization can the organization or the department can hire from the other department but under the same employer. Then there will be two members who must have a knowledge regarding the law and legal processes, and there must be other members and they must be have a knowledge regarding the social issues. Moving towards next is the complaint committee. This is one of the important element of this act. There are two types of committees: internal complaint committees and local complaint committees. If we talk about the internal complaint committee, is basically for the organization where are more than 10 employees, or we can say that if there are big organization. And local complaint committee is for where there are less than 10 employees basically, and the small businesses. Well, internal complaint committee is headed by the employer of the organization, and the member of this committee include the chairperson, two members and other members. So basically chairperson must be a woman and she must have a legal knowledge regarding the social issues, and other two members must have the knowledge regarding the laws and social issues, and as well as they can be from any NGOs or social organization. If we talk about the local complaint committee, it is basically headed by the district officer. The district officer will appoint a nodal officer who will address the complaint done by the women. Basically, the local complaint committee is for the dwelling houses where women are working, or if there is a complaint towards the employer itself, that women can also go to the local complaint committee, and where the people, less than 10 employees are working in any organization. Well, now we'll talk about the complaint process. Well, there are basically six steps of complaint process. Firstly, the complainant. Well, firstly, the complainant have to complain to the complaint committee. But if she's physically or mentally is unable, or if she have facing any problem or she is in fear, the other person like her friend or who's a witness or the family member, they can file a complaint to the complaint committee. Well, before proceeding towards the process, the one thing that must be in there in the complaint, the complainant must know the date, timing of the incidents, on who is the respondent, and what are the working relationship with the respondent. That things must be clear in the complaint. Now, there are basically six steps of the complaint process. The first is receive the complaint. The complaint committee will receive the complaint from the complainant, and then personally they will having a talk with the complainant, and then they will ask about the any option, like there are informal options and a formal way to resolve this issue. If she is not agree with the informal action, then definitely there will be a formal way to prevent this issue. Other than that, the planning carefully, then they will collect all the documentation required for this process, and other than that, the supporting document or the evidence must be there. They must be planned carefully. Then the third is the interview, where the complaint committee will conduct an interview for both the complainant and for the respondent, and they will collect the data. Even then, they also do a interview with the witnesses for more evidences or the supporting documents. Next is a reasoning. Here, the complaint committee will analyze all the document. They will make a sequence of all the things, and they will also compare the both interviewees' views and their experiences in the file. Then next is the finding and recommendation. Finally, after that, the whole process, this interview and all that, then the complaint committee will find the final result, and they will do a recommendation for on this case. The last is the report writing. In the last step, they will make the report, and they will submit that report to the employer as well or to the district officer if there is a local complaint committee. Then, according to this act, there are some time limits. Like for the submission of the report, the complainant must complain their complaint within the 3 months of last incidents. Then after that, the notice will be issued to the respondent within 7 days, and then after that, the whole process, that inquiry interview, will take 3 months. And after the 3 months, the complaint committee will report the writing, and they will submit within the 10 days after the inquiry to the district officer or to the employer. Then after that, within 3 months, the employer or the district officer will give the solution to this problem. And if the complainant or the victim is not satisfied with the result, then that person can file a case to the court within the 3 months. Well, according to this act, there are some penalties for the respondents, or we can say the harasser. Under this act, 354 section is applied, and under this section, the person or the respondent, or we can say the harasser, that person will have a 1 to 3 year imprisonment, or he have to pay a fine also. Well, according to the Child Development Organization, Indian Child and Women Protection Organization, they have given one of the online portal. That name is the SheBox. It is a portal where the victim, or we can say the women, they can file their complaint online, and that complaint will be directly submit to the government, and the government will then again issue this complaint to the local complaint committee as well as the internal complaint committee. So this is all about my topic. Well, we talk about all this act and the prevention redressal activities, but the main thing is that if we will not raise our voice, if we will not talk about this issue will never go from our society. So the main thing is that as a woman, I can suggest you that you have to raise your voice. If you are facing any kind of harassment, it can be a physical, mental, social or sexual, you must be talk about this. Thank you so much.